Do you want to meet Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander, the real Frog Brothers? Join us, the Frog Brothers Podcast, August 20th and 21st in San Antonio, Texas for the Summer of Santa Carla presented by Kings of Horror. Help celebrate the 35th anniversary of one of our favorite films, The Lost Boys. With screenings, autographs, artists, vendors, oddities, readings, comics, food, and more. Plus your favorite podcast hosts, Alec, Justin, and Nick. Go to socialrevoltstore.com for tickets and be sure to follow Kings of Horror on Instagram for updates. Looking to win tickets? Listen to the Frog Brothers Podcast from now until the event and be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts for more chances to win. At Frog Bros Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you in Texas.
Yeehaw!
Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from The Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers Podcast.
What's going to be doing running from a spooky ghost? It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me Shell. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only
Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Okay, channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and the Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to episode 122 and an 8. Where the heck is 122 and an 8?
You're standing on it, dude.
Damn! What's going on? What's going on with you? And you?
We didn't introduce ourselves.
That's Nick. That's Alec, and I'm Justin.
Hey, every 6 months, Justin completely changes his introduction method. So just get used to it, Nick. That's what it is going to be for 6 more months now.
What?
Whatever he just did. He's going to go, that's Nick, that's Alec, and I'm Justin.
Yeah, it's gonna
when it used to be, I'm Justin, and then he would just pause, and then we're like, oh shit, we're supposed what?
Yeah, for a while I introduced everybody, then I let everyone introduce themselves, and I'm gonna do the Norm Macdonald sounding thing. That's Nick, that's Alec, and I'm Norm Macdonald.
And the dog's licking my ankle.
Yeah, so episode 122.
Yeah, that's Booger down there.
Yeah. You may have noticed we fucked up some of our episode numbering. It's not really that significant, but we're all good.
Just a tiny bit.
Just look at the screen.
If you're keeping track, let us know.
121 was fine. There were like 3 in there.
And we also had a backlog of episodes coming, so it was like, I wasn't
There's still a couple Haunted by Tapes we haven't released.
And one episode that was
and
lost.
A special interview. So
2 interviews.
Oh, yeah. We're going to drop both of those.
Yeah. We have lots of stuff still always coming at you. And possibly a special, some more stuff on Patreon coming soon.
Did you say possibly?
Proshabry.
Pro. So they have Reese's Pumpkins out now already?
Did you call it Reese's?
What'd I say?
Reese's.
Well, I'm not going to argue it one way or the other. I'm just saying, you're one of those people who says Reese's.
It's probably because I say Reese's Pieces to make it rhyme, and then I just always say Reese's.
Yeah, I call them Reese's, and I always have. And when I was a kid, I found it really cringy when a kid would say Reese's. Now it doesn't bother me. I'm like, whatever, it's just a different pronunciation. It's like, tomato, who gives a fuck?
Except I don't know anyone that calls it a tomato.
I don't either.
Unless you're being an asshole.
But I also hate caramel.
A regional thing.
And Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Well, it doesn't have to be excessively Halloween. But
you don't have to
it's not H-O. Anyway, I found these Reese's 4 peanut butter cups, Franken cups. They're out.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
What is it?
Franken cups. They just have a green color on the bottom. That's all. Oh. I'm pretty sure it's not chocolate. It's a cream. Yeah, green colored cream. Probably just tastes like sugar shit.
You should open that. So.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna shove them all in my butt later.
And then he's got the pumpkins.
And then the pumpkins. How can you not buy those?
Holiday Reese's are the best.
Yes.
They're shaped like an egg, a pumpkin, or a tree.
They have a better chocolate to peanut butter ratio.
That's just
exactly right.
This is like my childhood aesthetic.
It's
right
like the double stuffed Oreos.
I like
there's not enough cream in the regular.
Those are both out, as well as some Brax.
Crinkle that into the microphone. People need to hear that.
Well, it's pronounced
If
Brox.
you're listening, we've got Brox candy.
Aha, he said Brax, and you say Brox.
Brax.
And I say Brox.
Braxiosaurus is what I would call that.
I don't really know or care.
What is it?
Yeah.
They're mellow cream pumpkins. They're like the same thing as candy corn, kind of, but
those.
they're a little bit better because they're creamier.
Yeah, they're a little softer in the middle. Okay, they're nice.
Well, let's crack that open.
No. Well, I guess we could if you really want to.
Yeah.
Booger, you gotta get. You can't have none of this.
He's like, fuck you, I can't. I'm gonna have some candy, bitch.
Well, let's actually. I want to see what the ingredients are.
You can eat those.
Yeah, there's gelatin. I'm not eating them. Keeping them closed, sealed.
Oh.
All right, so we do
just
have
decor at this point.
Yeah,
you're not vegan.
Good decor.
But gelatin comes from bone marrow, so it's essentially meat. I'll drink. If it's milk, that's
I thought you
not.
ate, I thought you ate
flesh.
meat sometimes.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
That's what vegetarian is.
Alec hasn't eaten meat in longer than me.
What are you saying? News.
News. So there's some fun news from the world of Adult Swim. Aqua Teen Hunger Force Plantasm movie's been announced. That's going to be releasing. I think they've started releasing some promotional material for that. Looks pretty exciting. They said there's actually going to be more of a story to this one instead of just kind of like gags with kind of a loose plot line to get you through the flick. And then they've got a Metalocalypse movie in the works too, which
finally, again, they're gonna, they got so epic with that story in the end of Metalocalypse. I don't know how much you've seen of the last couple of seasons and shit. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's like mythological fucking shit. And then it just fucking was a big old dick tease.
And then yeah,
never got to blow our loads.
Well, hopefully this movie's gonna let you finish.
Yeah, hopefully. Fucking 20-year blue balls here.
Pretty much. And then the Groot shorts are dropping on Wednesday this week.
Fuck off. I'm not talking about that shit. Moving along.
Groot
What's
shorts.
up next? What's up next?
Fuck you.
And now the fun news.
Talking about fucking Groot shorts? Or what fucking podcast is this?
I have kids, dickhead, so I'll be watching that with them.
What's Groot
So
shorts?
talk about it on your podcast with your kids.
What's Groot shorts?
Hey, do that weasel laugh again.
You mean this one?
Yeah, that one. Fuck you. I hate you.
Oh, you're so good at that.
Olivia Newton-John decided to die at 73 years old.
We're in the fun news.
This is fun.
Okay.
Oh.
I was gonna make that joke, but
You can watch a musical and dance around and have fun.
I'm sad.
Seems kind of shitty that you died at 73, but that seems kind of selfish if you ask me.
What's Groot shorts?
This is very sad news. Stop laughing. It's not funny.
No, what's really sad is the fucking Warner Brothers diarrhea explosion going on over there at that film studio. You can keep that music playing.
Really?
Yeah, that was perfect for the Warner Brothers stuff.
Oh, God.
In Memoriam. It's like the end of the year, like In Memoriam, like everything they cut, the Scoob prequel animated series. Batgirl. Anything that's woke culture because there's a rich old white man in charge of this company now, trying to force his manly whiteness on you. It's really fucked up. I'd like to thank the Academy for fucking up Warner Brothers.
What's Groot shorts?
No, you're just gonna fucking piss Alec off.
I don't know what it is though. I really don't.
It's animated shorts about Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
All right. Warner Brothers, man, they're off the fucking rails, canceling shit left and right, throwing shit out.
Wait, you gotta...
Can they cancel themselves? Can they all just fucking quit the company? Can they just let Warner Brothers die? Maybe someone will buy it that gives a fuck about any of the properties they own.
They just need to make Batman movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quit fucking around already and give me the goddamn Michael Keaton Batman Beyond movie.
You can have...
And you can fuck right off. Yet they're going to let Ezra Miller go on with
fucking A, man. Who gives a fucking shit?
their shenanigans, and it's going to be fucking insane. Like, don't mind us. They can do whatever they want, no harm, because we spent so much money on this, but Batgirl is fucked.
Yeah.
Feels like a George Carlin thing. I feel like George Carlin would handle this very well for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Be
If
interesting
you're
to see.
pre-born, you're okay, but if you're Warner Brothers, you're fucked.
I guess I have a little bit of a segment.
You got a irrational...
Yes? You were pissed off earlier.
It's not that. It's more of a...
I mean, are all your friends Satanists?
A young Frenchman photographed this flying saucer, or is it? From a...
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography?
I don't have jiggly tits anymore. I can't do it.
Cult this morning and some of the danger.
Telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis.
For the purposes of this study, we will focus on the number 666. Tonight on Six Ed World.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but...
All right.
I was in some...
The 80s and 90s. I grew up in 80s and 90s group or something.
Yes, and it's quite hilarious.
Is there a lot of posts about how I was spanked and turned out okay?
Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to justify like crazy behavior that's outdated belief.
Did you, though?
Well, here. It's a meme, and it has... Boy George and Prince, and I actually don't know the other people's two names, but I do recognize them. Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Grace Jones, top left.
That's it. Grace Jones, yes. Which Bond movie is that?
A View to a Kill.
There you go. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. And then the other...
Oh, she played Mayday.
And it says, I don't really understand how people who were young in the 80s act so confused about different gender identities and expression when the celebrities of their time looked like this. Which is just like a funny meme people could just laugh at and not even have to think. Although I will, say the person, that is a more political meme that
you're gonna
I
trigger
probably
people
wouldn't
with
post,
that.
unless you are willing to trigger people. Especially in this group, because this group does this shit all the time. They're ridiculous. Some of the comments, we weren't confused. Today there are 100+ gender pronouns. In the 80s you were straight or gay. Ha ha ha. I think this generation is looking to sub-label everything.
Straight or gay? No, I'm pretty sure bisexual is still a pretty popular option in the 80s, and so is trans and everything else.
Dave said, what the hell is that cringy first thing with a cigarette, Grace Jones? And I commented and added him and said, someone who fucked more than you.
Had more money than you.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone more successful than you.
Was a very successful model.
Somebody said that this generation is all fucking out of whack and entitled and insane and blah blah blah. And I literally said the generation before you made fun of you and thought you were all fucked in the head, though.
But isn't it their generation raising this generation?
Right?
In theory, yes.
And then this one. Because none of those four people tried to tell us that they were any other gender than what they were. Boy George was a self-admitted gay man, but he never tried to piss on our collective heads and tell us it was raining. And I said, why does his gender equate to pissing on your head? Sounds like you have gender issues yourself. Some of these, those are kind of tame. I asked, they said they're sick of it being shoved down their throats. And I said... What exactly is being shoved down your throat? LOL.
Yeah, exactly. Did you go to a Catholic church?
They said, delusional fantasies and illnesses. And I said, are you forced to change genders or blow dudes? No? Then mind your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do they care what other people are doing?
Oh, that's a lot of people can give too much shit
and
about
then,
other people.
Yeah, another person said, they don't, the difference is they didn't want special treatment. And, I said, no one wants special treatment. They want equal treatment. Why is that hard to grasp?
That's very true, right?
If it was equal, there would be a month to heterosexuality. Or I'd start pushing Catholic values in people's faces. My guy. Like, you don't do that? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I guarantee it. And by Catholic values, he means entering.
I could have taken the bait there about the Catholic thing and gone to how much child abuse takes place there, and I didn't.
Was he joking?
I mean...
As much as I have to hear about how same-sex relationships are okay, if it was okay, there wouldn't be a need to push those agendas. I'm like, what? Enough of the rainbow shit. The pride flags are telling everyone your sexual preference.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of different sexual preferences on the flag.
Yeah, that just means inclusive, dumbass.
And then, it wasn't shoved in people's faces, and these artists didn't act like the world was burning if someone raised an eyebrow at their choices. They also didn't cry because you didn't use their pronouns. Nobody cares what you do in your space, but people care People do care when you tread on theirs. How is that hard to understand? I said, shoved in your faces. You mean like on TV or movies? Like gay people exist? Question mark?
Yeah. People are confusing being inclusive about all the types of people in the world with them having to like hate it because it makes them uncomfortable or they're aroused by it and they don't want to confront their feelings. Which there's a lot of that in these fucking self-hating motherfuckers out there.
Yeah. I said to that guy, big yikes, I'm not even going to engage with that insanity. Go see a therapist and tell them about why you're obsessed with strangers' sex lives. And then they replied, I honestly feel bad for you. You had something to say. I voiced an opinion, and the best you had was this third-grade response. You missed the point completely. I don't want to hear about anyone's sex lives, yours or anyone's. You want to be an equal. Keep that shit between yourself and your therapist. I slurred my fucking words out the ass.
Therapist, yeah.
And then I said, you're just mad people are out of the closet more than ever. Have fun not making your wife come.
But they don't make a big deal about straight people sex representation.
No,
like
they're comfortable with that.
Because it's already out there.
But it's not, they don't want to see anyone having sex.
They just, they don't want gay sex.
Right.
They only
if
want
I was
to
to
see
say
what
that
arouses
it's
them.
fucked up for their children, their daughter, to talk about my husband one day, they'd be like, that's not fucked up, that's cute. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. Well then, chill the fuck out, right? Because that's just weird shit. That child should not be attracted to anyone. Because then, yes. This guy says, my 9-year-old niece feels she has to choose her sexuality, and because she feels like a normal 9-year-old and isn't attracted to either sex, she thinks she non-binary. How fair is that for folks? I just replied, oh, fuck off. And then I came back and said, I didn't even screenshot that part. Damn, where is it?
Yeah. Reading through that conversation earlier with this particular individual is like, holy hell. Because doesn't he go on talking about like having a gun and all kinds of other crazy...
Here's some pictures of
nut
some
job
of them.
shit?
I'm not going to show them to the camera, but...
Yeah.
They always look like you expect.
His shirt says, socialism distancing.
Yet he drove there to a public park on a road that was paid for by taxes.
Look at that gut.
They're so obsessive over it.
I said, your niece is possibly non-binary then, question mark. Just hope you still show them love and support for their well-being that isn't just based around their genitals.
Well, my thing, specifically around that, is women can start their periods, or an individual that has a period can start their period at 9 to 12 years old. It's not that uncommon for it to be that early.
My little sister was 9.
So the fact that someone is having a period... might indicate that they might actually know what they're into.
Know that there is something off about their sexuality or experience gender dysphoria when they are children. They know something's up then.
Yes, people will
or
tell
they
you
figure it
about
out
that.
entirely.
Yeah, they'll tell you the entire thing, and like they're just comfortable with who they are.
Yeah.
Like there's that level of intuition there.
Yeah, they have some, like, he's... I'm like, I really hope that guy's niece does turn out non-binary, just so he has to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the type of person that's going to disown their family and, like, blame the sibling or, like, you know, if that's his brother or sister or whoever else.
What was it, like a senator or something recently? He voted against something. Voted against gay people and something.
And then went to his gay son's wedding.
Or daughter or something.
Or,
Yep.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
Why was he invited?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because people still don't know how to remove toxic family members from their lives. Like, there's this thing that, like, you know, family stick as blood or whatever else and all that kind of nonsense.
But if you still love your kid, then why are you...
That's the same kind of nonsense as respect your elders.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's some knowledge from elders for sure that you can...
Respect is earned. It isn't just given away because of your age or whatever.
And it's not just because they're your elders, right? I would say you generally would approach people with respect unless they've come out in a way that's not going to get that right.
That's also pretty much it. I generally give respect until I am disrespected.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to just approach a stranger on the street and be an asshole, regardless of their situation, unless they provoked that response and dictated that they're a fucking asshat.
Yeah.
And even then, you just try not to let it get to you. But we're all humans, and sometimes people get under your skin.
So that was an 80s and 90s, growing up in the 80s and 90s post group. And that group is pretty much like that. Like, a lot of their posts are in there, like, weird gatekeeping shit, like...
Oh, yeah.
And the people who refuse to be called millennials, like, are millennials, you know, and shit. And they're like, no, we're the group between Gen X and millennials. Zillennials.
Like, no,
and you're like,
look at it.
fuck off. You're a millennial. Like, just, it's not a big deal. You just think it's a derogatory word, and you think it's younger people or something.
They've been using it as a derogatory term towards people that they thought were younger than them. They don't understand it. Yes.
It's Gen Z that you're really talking about.
Yeah, because I was born in 83, and I'm a millennial, right?
Yeah.
81 or 80 is the cutoff.
Yeah, I think 81,
yeah.
I think it used to be later.
Well, they kind of...
I used to not be a millennial, but they've
kind of redefined some of it, but it's
well,
more
it makes
about...
sense, though, because you were a teenager when the internet came about.
Wasn't I?
Yes, that's really what it's about, is the people that grew up with the internet or grew up through the
all of that
introduction.
Technology and cell phones and stuff changing.
We used to be Generation X, or I don't know.
No, I mean, technically 84 here, but yeah, it's doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We're all fucking humans, and that's what we always failure.
Yeah, it's one of those funny groups, though, because they like to argue about that kind of shit, or like, oh, you know, somebody born in 1995 shouldn't be in this group. They didn't grow up in the 90s and that kind of
They were still
shit.
pooping their pants until 2000.
And you're like, yeah, but culture also carries over. Like, there's a reason I'm so obsessed with Alf. Alf didn't air during my lifetime.
Yeah, you weren't born in the 80s, but you loved
But it fucking reran, and my dad and family always talked about it, and we'd watch shit like that, and it's just one of those things, you know. The culture's still there. It's just weird.
Well, the other people,
shit.
the other thing that all these people in that group are for failing to remember, even though they're on the social media platform, is like the social media didn't exist the way it does then. So I guarantee you, a lot of these people would have used their voice in a more prominent way had they had the means.
Yeah.
You
want to tell me that Prince wouldn't be non-binary if he was born 30 years later?
Yeah, and exactly.
Identify that way at least, you know?
I mean, look at his fucking logo. Like,
exactly.
There's a fucking level of like genius. Like, those people were foreshadowing what the world could be.
He changed his name to a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Prince got that bussy.
I mean,
yeah, nothing's changed. It's just
easier
it's
to
just advertised more now.
Well, that's the thing is people saying there's more gay people now than ever. No, they're just more out of the closet and they're open about it. They feel comfortable admitting it now.
They're not so terrified that they don't live their life.
Yeah, they're not fucking terrified of being fucking murdered for who they are.
Same thing with trans
But they still are. I mean, there's still a lot of people that are living that life of fucking utter devastating fear because there's fucking bigots out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But it's a lot easier now than it was then. There's still a long ways to go. But you can't deny someone's existence because of that. You're like, they just fucking had to hide who they were.
Like it's like they act like it's such. I don't understand it. They're like, I'm not going to call them they and them.
And then they clearly don't know any of their history, right? Because if you look at like Roman bathhouses and stuff, where bisexuality and all that stuff was just fucking common, like people
listen to
did
this.
Whatever.
People saying, I will never refer to one person as they or them. And then you're like, wait a minute. So if you were to say you're at work and you said, oh, somebody left their umbrella here, and the other person said, oh, well, I'll see if they're outside.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh no! Oh shit! You use they them singular! Oh my god! The world's gonna fucking end.
Yeah, people have always done that when they didn't know the sex of the person.
Exactly.
And
then
that's
all that is.
They're banning pronouns in schools. It's like, what? Good fucking luck experiencing language, buddy.
Yeah.
You hear me making a big stink over here, like what?
Yeah, banning that in school. I mean, it's bad enough to be a teacher right now as it is anyway, because you're not fucking paid shit. People don't fucking parent their children the way they did.
Dog kiss on the podcast.
Oh, did you see that one school now? Where is it? Ohio, Idaho? I don't know. They're giving teachers little buttons, I guess, put on their and they push it and lock the building down.
That's Olathe schools.
Right. Was it that local? Yeah. That's right. It was Olathe.
Damn, yeah. I went to those schools growing up. So
yeah, that's where we went.
So what happens when you push it? How does it lock the building down?
Basically an emergency. It'll lock down the building for an emergency.
So you lock the shooter in the building?
I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's probably a press release we could read on it, but I didn't prep for that.
Oh, that was the other thing. We got to talk about that.
What?
In the community group around here, I won't name it exactly because I don't want to out where we live.
Oh,
I don't want to do that.
We just did.
What?
Olathe.
We're talking about the school district. That does not work. It's not where we.
I don't live in Olathe, motherfucker.
We live in the metro area, though.
That doesn't matter.
The metro area. No,
I don't want to identify the.
I always talk about
the exact town we live in. Okay.
It's unnecessary to put it out there, especially when we're talking about controversial subject matter, which would likely be watched by other people more than anything.
Yeah,
of our
there's
materials.
crazy people out there that'll follow you down. Like, if you've seen some of the private messages I've gotten from strangers that you've seen in the world.
Someone said, beware. Took a walk this morning at Burrow I'm literally just about to read the shit out.
Yeah.
With my mom, infant, and 3-year-old. Some old man startled us on the trail. He seemed friendly at first, but then started following us and singing. He followed us back to the parking lot when we were clearly walking fast, not engaging, and trying to get away from him. And someone else commented, he is 70 years old and is out there every day. I've seen him for years now. He has several grandkids. He's a nice guy who just likes to sing. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think some older people are just unintentionally creepy friendly, I think.
Well, yeah, but... yeah, I get where they're coming from, but people are always overreacting about this shit because I used to work for Kirby Vacuums for a short minute, and that's a door-to-door vacuum salesman shit. God. Where you are doing weird shit to try to get into people's houses. So it makes it seem creepy, but you're just trying to get into their house to demo the vacuum because that's literally how you earn your pay.
By
is
selling,
demoing and selling the vacuums. And it's stupid and horrible. It's a pyramid scheme, literally. But I was broke and didn't know better at the time. And I've seen community posts like this before where like there's people jumping out of a van and they dress nice and they're trying to get into people's houses. They're carrying dish soap.
They have vacuums.
Yeah.
Well, they're door-to-door selling stuff like that. Yeah, whatever that is.
They just kept trying to get in my house, and it's like... so anyway, a guy responded, with the way society behaves these days, with bold disregard for the lives of others, I'm surprised anyone, especially a female, would be in public with her children without carrying a firearm. Shame, shame, shame. And then...
So he wants women to shoot men when they feel the least bit creeped out?
No, this gets better, I swear to God. Here's the very first moment of your training. See if you can answer this question correctly. What is the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun?
A knife?
Me responding, statistically, himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, not pretty much.
I know. Well,
we're going to get there. I then
a baseball bat.
Screen capped 4 things from the same article. The first one says, how common is it for civilians to stop active threats?
Well, this is just an old man singing. He wasn't armed, right?
Yes.
Why are they talking about that?
Well, and how do you know he wasn't... I mean, people just assume that somebody wants to hurt them, and you're like, okay, then stay in your house and never go outside.
Bystanders stop active attacks about 16% of the time
right.
without a gun.
So that means 84% of the time someone's going to watch you get fucking hurt.
That's not exactly it. Let's see. 16% of the time without a gun. Out of those... Well, wait. No, 16%. That includes with the gun and without a gun together. And then an armed civilian stops attacks by shooting the suspect 5% of the time.
So 11% not with a gun.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. You're more likely to have someone help you if they don't have a gun.
Yes. 5%. So he said it was the only way. And then alert researchers found police stop attackers about twice as often as civilians, doing so in about 31% of all incidents. In approximately 42% of the cases studied, the attacker stopped on their own before police arrived, either leaving the scene or killing themselves.
Yeah.
So literally, the only guy that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a bad guy with a gun.
In his mouth.
Himself.
Yes.
Yes.
42% of the time. Overwhelming. Fuck off.
So you say this to people, and they'll be like, well, that's just because not enough people have guns. If everyone had a gun, they'd all be stopping.
No, they wouldn't. And there's nothing...
Speaking of guns...
Your gun is digging into my hip.
You want to talk this... you want to go on to this movie?
Yeah, let's get to the movie. Or do we want to... Well, I guess we need to talk the movie before we can rank.
Oh, I guess there is a gun in this movie.
At least one.
I was like, I don't think there's any guns in this
There's
movie.
a musket.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I guess the Frenchmen are armed with guns. Is this vintage?
No. But I'm glad that you couldn't tell.
No, I don't know.
Front row
Neither is the
video
fruit stripe.
reviews with the Frog Brothers podcast.
Front row video reviews.
I was afraid to put it in my mouth.
That's what she said.
We're talking
this
Prey,
week.
2022. 20th Century Studios. It still trips me out not seeing 20th Century Fox on there when I see those intro logos.
My first note is if this dog dies, fuck this movie.
As soon as I saw that fucking dog, which is
I figured
Sari.
he would.
His name's Sari. That's
he
like
doesn't even really get injured other than getting his tail in that trap.
Yeah.
Was that his tail that was in the trap?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was his dick.
At first I thought it was the leg, but then
I
she's
thought
like
it was
treating his
Oh,
tail.
okay. I didn't get a close look at it.
That's
so
why he
that
doesn't
makes
have a
sense.
limp or anything.
That's okay. I feel a lot better about that already then. Yeah, that was my first thing. I was like, oh, this dog's awesome. That dog's ears remind me of my dog's ears. Okay, you've got my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Said a woman is awoken, has a dog friend. We're gathering food with the tribe and the dog.
Nick seemed to enjoy the shit out of this movie, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I have mixed feelings on it.
Mm-hmm. But why? Was it not silly enough?
So here's the thing. This movie's getting mostly positive reviews everywhere, so I want to hear you cut it apart because most people are not willing to go that route right now.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to cut it apart because I think it's woke or anything, obviously. For anybody who's listened to this before, if anything, I'm going to be the one who's going to be called woke.
Predator.
Because the only real redeemable value in this movie is the fact that you have indigenous people in these roles.
The original Predator was really woke. You had an Austrian, a black guy, an Asian woman.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
A Native American, Billy. He was Native American.
Well, yeah, this movie was...
a guy with glasses.
I don't know if it was shot or dubbed, how they did that, but it
The
had...
guy with glasses.
The Comanche language is in
It says dub on Hulu for the option. It says Comanche dub.
Okay.
But I heard that it was filmed, like every line was filmed separately.
That'd have been cool, but also expensive.
Yeah, really expensive.
Even
And a
on
pain in the ass
digital?
to edit because you may not have the exact same shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a different performance, maybe.
Yeah, that's the main
Sure
thing.
they dubbed their own voices, though? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Hopefully, they at least did that, yeah. Because I
That'd
think
be
they
cool.
said the cast could speak Comanche.
Tomahawk practice is one of my notes.
Mhm.
That's pretty interesting. Basically turns her tomahawk into Scorpion's spear.
Oh, with the rope when she puts the
Get
rope
over here! I was expecting it.
Come here!
Exactly.
The only thing missing was a fireball. I was hoping she'd pull her mask off and burn
Well,
the
Predator was in one of the Mortal Kombat games recently, too, so...
Oh, yeah, he was.
Checks out.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Finish him!
Finish him.
The spaceship shit is pretty interesting at first, you know.
You
Like,
basically show this lone predator getting dropped off. Like,
Yeah.
if you know the Predator lore, you kind of know that this is like a coming of age thing for them to come out and hunt, sort of a thing, right? It's a pride thing, I guess, and so they get dropped off, then they get come get picked up, or if they get defeated, someone comes and picks up their corpse.
Naru wants to be a hunter.
Yeah.
And the tribe is kind of like, you know, like maybe. We'll see. We'll give you the chance, and for sure. But like, also, her mom's. I think it's her mom is discouraging
mushrooms.
Yeah,
her mom is the medicine
woman
of the tribe. We've come to learn.
Doctor.
And here's where I wrote down. I get it. Want to be the hunter, gonna be the hunted. Like, you know, the whole.
Yeah.
I get the thing you're doing here. It's very on the nose to me, but I don't know.
It's a tropey kind of setup, I guess.
It's tropey, but it's fresh in the fact that it's a period piece that actually has indigenous people speaking a native language, because even there's parts like that they have the native language in there, even in the regular English version, right?
I do like that.
I like getting some of those.
That's the most interesting stuff to me is honestly the culture there when they're hunting the lion and stuff like that. And I don't like there's too much animal death in this movie. And I won't say that when they're hunting it bothers me, because I get it. It's a 1700s Native American movie. You're gonna be watching them do some fucking hunting probably. It's a survival thing at that point. But there's a little just like too much of it for me.
Well, it almost goes that whole fucking Jurassic World route where you're like, you're killing for sport. in the fact that you've got these trappers that are out there, which we don't know about till later on
Yeah,
in the film. The trappers
I could have done
skinning
without seeing the wolf die and shit like that. It's too close to a dog for me. It fucks me up.
Yeah, the
Seeing
trappers were killing the buffalo just to fucking kill them. I think they took
the fucking snake.
They took their fur.
But
skin or whatever.
but everyone thinks, you know, the way the movie's edited, it's designed to make you think that the predators are out there killing these in like mass quantities. And you're like, that doesn't match anything we know about the predator lore. So unless you're new to this film series, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he wasn't killing the buffalo.
But it's also interesting because he seems to want, or the predator hunter seems to want to find whatever is causing these animals harm, because he's fascinated when he comes across the shit himself. And I say he just because we don't know. Neither here nor there. I guess we could say they.
Predator.
Predator. I like that. To catch a predator. We should
Why don't you have a seat?
We should do a skit of that. That'd be amazing.
What was that sequence where they show like one animal eat another, and then an animal eat another, and then the predator like fucking stabs it?
Again, interesting, but I'm not for me.
Well, I mean, not the animal death part, but just the.
In idea, it's
interesting
cool.
shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. But again, that's why it turned me off, is things like that.
No, it said no animals were harmed.
Do you like the reference to the Thunderbird? Well, yeah, because most of them are CG except for that fucking dog. Like,
yeah, that
dog was even CG sometimes, but like,
yeah. Oh, her dog.
Yeah,
not the wolf or whatever.
Well, I don't know if the wolf might have had a part too where it looked real.
I heard someone,
and they did actually really good jobs on it, like the faces of the lion.
I heard someone say that the bear didn't look good and like early on in that sequence, but I don't remember it looking.
I knew it was going to be.
I could tell it was CGI,
really
but yeah,
for their budget, I thought it was.
I don't want people to use real animals in anything that regards anything the way it would. They used the dog where they should have, and they didn't where they shouldn't have. So I'll give them that. Yeah. They did animal things very well with this movie, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I have no problem with them using domesticated animals for domesticated animal roles, but doing wild animals, they're going to. But like, we've trained it, and you're like,
the predator did save that bunny.
I did go to doesthedogdie.com beforehand, so I could not trigger myself when I watched this, and I realized 20 minutes into the movie that the dog, spoiler alert, is not going to die.
Like I said,
I was happy.
You wouldn't have liked that movie, Becky, like I told you. There's a lot of dog cruelty in there.
I really like Ginger Snaps, and there's lots of dogs being eaten by teenage girl vampires in that movie, but it's like not so much on screen. They're just like, oh, there's a shitty-looking puppet of a dog corpse over there, and that's what happened to it, or it's mentioned off screen even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they mentioned the Thunderbird lore. That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat seeing that.
The car.
Then
I do want to seek out some indigenous opinions on this movie too.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I mean, I know it's great because it's some breakthrough film roles for some of these folks, and I'm excited to see where they go because. Clearly, they're way underrepresented.
There's no more of a white word than folks, though.
Folks, I know. I like
folks. Folks.
He's reminds me of a lot
Christmas
today.
Vacation.
I know. Yeah, basically, that's why I say it, because of Clark Griswold. That's why I try to say it. I'm like, what's a word that you can use for everybody and sound old and crotchety without being like that outdated?
Fellers.
There's the orange flower they all use.
Yeah, the orange flower is pretty cool.
What is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be based on something real?
I don't know.
Makes your blood cold. I don't.
It doesn't make. Yeah, I think it lowers your body temperature essentially.
Yeah,
so
that's how she worded it, which is kind of a more.
The dog eats the lion shit.
What?
The dog eats the lion's shit.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember seeing that?
I don't remember that.
When they're hunting the lion, they have the dog there, and the dog's like, and you can hear that.
I mean,
and then the dog walks away, going like.
It's a dog eating cat shit. What else is new?
Exactly.
Yeah, dogs that eat cat shit out of the litter box. What the fuck is wrong with it? Sand all over it?
I don't know, but this is how they knew.
Like, even if you like eating shit.
Definitely cat shit. Poohie's eating it.
Like, if you like eating shit.
That's not Poohie's the dude that was taken by the lion.
Yeah, I kept saying lion. I was like, was there a lion? I guess like mountain lion or whatever, yeah.
Well, we see the whole tribe try to do their hunt, and then they're out there essentially going to go rescue...
Yeah,
the guy that's
when we need a cook,
he's hunting the lion.
They split up on the way back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The inside-out snake.
Oh, that skin snake. Yeah, that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it was skinned, but it looked inside out,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When he's talking about that, what is it? The Kutama or whatever? You know what word I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I have to butcher it. I'm sorry.
What was the context?
It's what they say when they're about to kill the thing.
Oh, I didn't catch that, I guess.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
It's that phrase. She uses it at the end. I have it written down at the end, but it's basically what you say when you're about to kill thing. Like, you go no further. This is it for you. This is the end.
I remember him saying that. Yeah.
He explained that to her. That's the Kutami or whatever
Her brother
it was.
says
I'm butchering it again, but
her
yes.
brother said it right before he died, and then she says it to the Predator after.
And he explains it to her. Yeah, after that it's also, it's not about hunting. It's about like, you could also die here, but because of that, I'm not gonna fucking take that shit or whatever. Like, the way he explains it is more elegant, obviously.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you see that going on. Then you got the Predator that goes after that rabbit, like we see. We see that wolf hunting that rabbit. Then he gets the wolf, and then this is the most unnecessary scene in there, but it's also another Mortal Kombat reference where he basically pulls the Sub-Zero and fucking rips the fucking skull and spinal column out of that thing. And you're like, okay, that would have been cool.
That's a Predator thing, though. They always collect the skull and spine.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that, but I just wish they would have done it with one of the French people that was there instead of a fucking wolf. Like, I don't care about any of that, right? You can have all the shit on the wall in there.
Yeah. The wolf in particular bothered me just because he's such dog-like,
Reminds me of that shot in Predator 2 when he cuts the head off of that Jamaican gang leader, and it transitions to him carrying it while he's yelling.
So when she's using the hatchet and the rope, scorpion style, my note right after that is the there's that very traditional Native American sounding score going on with some of the war drum sounds you hear on there, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't pay super close attention throughout the rest of the film, but I want to kind of rewatch to kind of see how authentic that is elsewhere. But that was one spot where it was really vibing and
the
really
music?
fit. Yeah.
And then she falls out of the tree, gets knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she, land on a rock?
Yeah, it looks like her head's smacked on a rock.
You think she'd be in worse shape?
Well, movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have to put a rock there. They should just hit the ground.
Oh, that's where he explains that the Kutamia, or whatever it is to survive, basically. I don't know.
Yeah.
He brings back the dead lion, bloody as fuck, and basically the whole tribe drops on their knees and blows him.
Yeah, he becomes the chief hunter or some such.
Yeah, he blows his load all over every pair of tits in that tribe at once.
Well, I hope his mother wasn't there. That's fucked up.
Pee is stored in the balls.
Oh my god, scientific inaccuracies. Here they are. Don't mind Alec, he's not a scientist.
What if you really had to pee?
I'm something of a scientist myself.
You kind of have that Willem Dafoe look, though. I think you could pull some of his roles off.
I bet I could. All I want to do is play a creepy guy in movies. Pay me millions of dollars to do creepy shit on film. I'm here for it.
So then we see the slaughtered and skinned buffalo, right?
Yeah, that's what my line says. I don't want to watch a movie of animal deaths. Fuck this. I was literally getting pissed.
That's why you hate this movie. Oh my god.
I wouldn't say I hate it. That's the biggest. I wouldn't even say I dislike it. That's the thing I dislike most from the movie.
And then she gets stuck in that gnarly water, which is foreskin shadowing for later on in the movie.
Oh, the bog or whatever.
Yeah, the bog she's in with that awesome tree roots that remind me of Ernest Scared Stupid, like this big gnarly fucking tree that's tipped over here. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. I really like that setup. That scene was done well. And then when it circles back later, and closes
too bad there's no Miak in this.
They had some good tension because she kept trying to hook onto the tree and pull herself out, and she's just getting deeper and deeper.
I was thinking of
I thought the
Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, I thought the Predator was going to save her for some reason. Like, he didn't want her to die that way because he wanted to find her.
That was an interesting aspect where the Predator doesn't see her as a threat. And, that
they did that in the first one.
That checks out.
That woman that they caught, she was never armed, so the Predator left her alone.
Yeah.
And then she picks up the gun, I think. Well, she ends up surviving the movie, so.
42 minutes in, 56 minutes left. No interaction between Naru and the Predator. 43 minutes in, bear versus Predator scene happens.
Yeah.
Bear versus Predator.
The bear hunt. The Predator is hurt by the
bear. Big bear, chase me.
But he still kills the bear.
That bear seems like maul the shit out of him, too.
And this bear...
Green blood
yeah,
everywhere.
the Predator's basically invincible. He's Michael Myers in this.
Well,
because, all the fucking animal attacks...
He's got, really thick...
He's bleeding all over, but they stabbed his foot.
Yeah, that green Predator
if somebody stabs your foot, that's that's quite an immobilization. I don't know much about this species, and I get it, but like, also get stabbed through like over here later
I think
on.
they have, like
just
really thick skin though, so even though you're cutting the skin and bleeding, you're not getting to like major organs or anything like that.
Well, I'm not saying that, but
yeah,
like, it jabbed through that much, it would
look,
slow you down and it would hurt.
Look how fucking quick he runs later in the movie after that.
Yeah. That is one
well,
thing.
He's got that. They always got that medicine though. Then when they're treating themselves, and they start
so they
yelling,
do, and then they show the parallels.
I think it heals them really quick or something. That's my guess. Is that they really can't.
Well, or he's doing alien speed or something back there and shit too.
Alien cocaine. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna fuck these motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ready.
She swims away. Oh, the laser net was pretty cool. That thing that yeah. Reminded me of Resident Evil.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. You're seeing like the Predator technology there, and obviously it's a couple hundred years before what we know originally, so it's not quite as advanced, but it's
people are saying that he deliberately went there with less sophisticated weaponry to match their level.
Oh,
like it's possible the Predators have that technology now, but
see, to me it seemed like the Predator was just going on a random planet to hunt, as they may have done before, and didn't necessarily know if there were people there or not.
Yeah,
they didn't make it obvious to me necessarily, though.
It's unclear if the Alien vs. Predator movies are canon in the Predator timeline now.
Yeah.
Which that shows them visiting the planet a way earlier than this.
And then what is it? What's the guy's name? Her brother?
I don't remember.
I didn't write down
Tabe?
his name.
I'm not
So I think
good
it's
with
Tabe.
names.
He says if it bleeds, we can kill it.
That was the only. I was like,
I knew Nick was going to be thinking that was cringy.
Brian and I were watching it, and she says, "I don't know if we can kill it or whatever." And I said, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And then he fucking says it, and I'm like, "No, why?"
See,
like something.
Normally, that's something like that would be like, "Are you serious?" But
that,
I didn't.
That
give
takes
a fuck
it away
this
from
one.
like that was Arnold's line. Like his character came up with that. Let him have that. Like they always do that shit in prequels. Like stop it.
You can always come up with cooler dialogue and different, interesting, unique things to say there.
The gun works because the gun was in Predator 2 and from this time. That's fine.
What's better than doing a trope is doing a trope bust, where she does set him up like that, and then he responds with something else.
Exactly, because we're already thinking it. I was already thinking it before he said it.
You already know.
You want to be shocked, not like, yeah, I don't know. That's just like...
Or he could have said a variation at least. He said the exact same thing.
And then the French settlers are assholes.
Yeah, they're fucking...
The French are assholes.
The French settlers in this movie are assholes, let me be clear.
They're from Aspen.
Well, see, all the strong French people left France to come over here.
Strong French people.
Well, I mean...
They left all the weak ones behind.
Well, that's why they're known for the white flag now. That's why they all surrender all the time.
We just opened some restaurants.
Don't you know that stereotype there?
Oh, it looked like the bracelet was going to do the self-destruct again.
Yeah.
But it didn't exactly self-destruct. It put out bracelets that cut people's legs off.
Yeah. Like
that was a little
kind
weird.
of drone technology. I'm like, I get
interesting,
wanting to
but
do
weird.
Something, I get wanting to do something new with the technology, something we haven't seen before, but at the same time, it was
I don't know. It felt like
underwhelming.
something I could have seen before in a Predator movie, but hadn't. But also, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but it was just like, okay, whatever. It just, with drones being as popular as they are and as cheap as they are now, it just seemed kind of like, really? Okay, whatever.
Frees the dog and helps the guy with the nub in exchange for how to use his gun and hand his gun. Flowers make him cold. That's when she realizes that.
Which I just called that guy the translator because he seemed to be pretty fluent in many languages.
Yeah.
So. And he was one of those guys that had a little bit of a role there, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen with him?
And then Tabe's back with the horse, and they're doing a little bit of ass-whooping before he's killed.
Oh, we can't forget that Rufio died earlier. And by Rufio, I just mean like the red mohawk look that reminded me of Rufio from the Hook movie.
Rufio? How do you get that name?
Because the Hook movie, Rufio.
No, but how do you get the name Rufio?
In Hook?
Is he roofing people?
Oh, I don't know. That's a conversation for another day.
They call him Rufio. Don't leave your drink open by him.
Rufalin?
Yeah.
The rats eating the guy's leg. For fuck's sake, that was the worst thing in the movie to me. That was like, all right, that's fucked up. That's brutal. It makes me cringe thinking about it.
Especially
cut
for
his
the
leg
time.
off. she's the good guy, and she cut his leg off.
Especially for the time period too, right? Because the disease that like wild rats can cause, like the Black Plague and all that kind of shit.
It makes me cringe thinking about it. I can feel it, like
utterly
eating my leg right
terrifying,
now.
Yeah, that was a good. That was probably the scariest part of the whole movie.
Her dog licking it. That would have been cool. Kind of taking a little nibble out of it.
Or try to drag him away by the bone. Trying to steal his bone out of there. That fucking thing, asshole. The Predator loses an arm. That's my next note, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so you basically see this whole trapper camp there and all the... I don't know. It gets kind of heavy there because it was so slow-paced, and I don't know if I'd say it was slow-paced. The pacing didn't feel like it was dragging on, but to your point, 42 minutes in before you get to Predator. And
well, we didn't get the... It's just before he was fully introduced to them.
Yeah, they interacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you start
I didn't have any pacing issues.
But now you're basically hitting that final act of the film where shit just starts at the fucking be the big ball rolling down the hill. So all that whole camp gets fucked by the Predator.
And it becomes the ending sequence from the original Predator of strictly Arnold, basically, versus the Predator himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So Naru, is that her name? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically there taking care of business at this point.
TCOB?
Mm-hmm. Her brother comes by and helps out with the horse.
Well, yeah, and he gets killed.
Okay.
Rip.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, do the Kutame or whatever shit again, he told her. And then she does it when she's about to fuck him up. This is as far as you go, no more. This is it. And then he shoots himself, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why did he not realize that was going to happen? It may just be me not understanding the situation.
No, the situation wasn't framed well either, because I was also confused during... Like, I got it before, when it's just like, okay, where the lasers are pointing, you get it. If the helmet points where the lasers are, that's where it's going to go.
Did he think he still had his helmet on?
But then it bounces off some weird shit. It was like watching the ending shot of Happy Gilmore with the golf ball.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is this arrow doing? Is this Guardians of the Galaxy? Is fucking Michael Rooker off screen here?
I didn't mind
that
she stole the mask during that fight, right? I think that makes a lot of sense because she had the ingenuity to come up with it.
Indigenous annuity.
Yeah, that's don't mind me.
She was very indigenous about
it. You're like, no doubt, then don't speak.
Don't speak.
That was my last note on that one.
The death scene on there is fine, and then obviously she returns home triumphant, and like the tribe rewards her.
Carrying his head.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I did like seeing that.
Nobody there knew about the alien, right? And she just walks up with the fucking head.
Well, I think
what the fuck?
I do like that the blood glows in the dark like that. Basically glows.
Mm-hmm.
That's just cool. Looks cool on her.
The only thing I would say that, after the ending of Predator 2, showing the old school pistol, I feel like that was...
the origin story for the pistol.
And you said that's in the end credits in the animation?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I guess they explain the Predators come back and trade or something with the tribe, and they end up with the gun.
Well, I think they want to come get the head of their fallen, right? And I think that's basically kind of what they show, because that's what happens in Predator 2, right? The Predator gets killed.
Well, they're probably like, hey, these people killed one of ours. They must be pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a respect thing there for it. But
yeah, I think they're honor bound, yeah.
Interesting.
They're not going to come and wipe out a tribe just for fun.
You want to rank these things?
Yeah.
I ranked 6 of them. Let's what?
Justin has more.
I was going to say, let's just talk overall. What'd you think of this movie? You said you don't hate it, but...
I wasn't as impressed. Expectations play into it too, because everybody was hyping this thing up.
Mm-hmm.
Finally a good Predator movie and all this shit, and you're like, what do you... Like...
I think it's the best sequel for sure.
There's not been that many. It's not like...
Well, if you count Alien vs. Predator, this is the 6th sequel.
But even then...
Or prequel. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I like the idea of it more than I like it itself.
Yeah.
Too many animal deaths. I wanted to see Predator kill a lot more people.
I thought he killed a decent amount. And the way that it was done was well done.
Yeah, I mean, it was only the last 45 minutes, though. I kind of just would have liked some more.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to have seen some other people get picked off earlier in the film by the Predator. besides just the animals and stuff.
Well, it
but
started out animals, and then he kind of worked himself up the food chain, it seemed like. You know?
My favorite part of it is the indigenous people and that culture there is all fascinating.
That was a
and that's
great-
what makes me
That's
probably
one of the things
want to come back to
that
it.
they need to do with the Predator franchise that can mix it up, you know.
Yeah, that's a very great...
Yeah.
Don't have it set in contemporary time every
I don't have a problem with that by any means. I think that's the best part of it.
Well, I mean, I think you could do a whole series of Predator movies talking about these things because, right, that's North America, what that would be like, right? What would it be like in the Viking era?
They could do different time
Things
periods
like
and
that,
different
right?
countries. And
I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
I was worried that it wasn't going to be good, so...
I didn't read much about it beforehand. I just saw a few people saying it's getting positive reviews, and I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw people saying they liked it, or how fucking good it was. Oh my god, and shit like that.
It's not a game changer, but it's you know when you've had movies.
I think it's a game changer for the franchise for sure. Because they said if this does well, they'll make more, and they'll make it similarly.
Well, it feels like they finally got it. They got 75% of it right. I have major issues with it. Like my number one thing is besides Naru going through her journey, no one else has any kind of fucking character development.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And like you don't give a... I mean, her brother has a little bit, but not much, right? And everyone else is just kind of there, and like it's so stereotypical with the way they're all like
They
looking
could have
down on
made
her
the
because
movie
she's
longer,
a
but I like
woman.
that it was only like an hour and a half, so...
Yeah.
So...
I think the movie just needed to be longer for that stuff, so...
I would have rather seen the Predator kill more people early on than... you know, some of the animals and stuff in there, because I think you've got these trappers that are out there and they're going to kind of interact and conflict with each other, and I think that
was
interesting.
The point, like I said. I just think it was him working up the food chain and
yeah, I didn't need to see all that
fighting more and more tough.
Because they don't show him fighting bacteria.
Yeah, he does. He probably got a vaccination before he went to Earth.
I'm sure he did.
He's not anti-vax.
The Predator's not. That's a good ad campaign.
He got his antibacterial.
How many
soap.
did you rank?
I did all 7.
I did 6.
I just watched Requiem and Predator 2.
I ranked 7, even though I haven't fully seen.
But I've seen
two of them.
I've seen them all in the last year, though. So, no, I haven't seen The Predator since it came out the theater. So that's
all right. Well, you both go with your number 7s then.
Alien versus Predator Requiem.
I put The Predator because it just does a lot of stupid shit.
Agree.
Very stupid shit. I had a good time watching it, but at the same time rolling my eyes. Like,
it's
this is
forgettable.
dumb. Like you got a lobotomized predator dog that becomes nice. Like, what are you doing? And the giant predator.
Yeah, that movie's fucking terrible. But since I haven't seen both of these, I ranked them lower because I'm like, I figured there's a reason I haven't seen
Which
them.
ones? The AVPs?
Yeah. That's my main plot process.
I mean, they're...
If I'd seen those...
Can you... Any movie is better by the addition of an alien, specifically a xenomorph, so...
Yeah.
I don't find anything super dumb happens in them. They're fine.
Well, yeah, they're schlocky, but they're not like...
But I don't...
Excellent, but
I'm not
they're
like...
fitting the mold of like trying to be more traditional Predator style movie where it's, you know, an alien movie too, where it's the sci-fi complete with the action violence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll have to just put an asterisk by mine until I see those all the way through. Because I've seen parts of them, at least the first one, I think, or like I've read about them on Wikipedia and know the premise of them. And
well, they're all on
IMDb.
HBO Max except for The Predator. So did I say I meant Hulu? Sorry.
Nick, your number 6.
My number 6 is the first Alien versus Predator.
That would be my number 6 as well.
Mine is...
Would you put Requiem for 7?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to watch the first one again.
It's a sequel to an Alien versus Predator movie. I'm just going based on what I can figure out here.
Requiem is rated R, and the first one's PG-13.
Interesting.
So.
Oh yeah, you forget in that time frame where they're like, "Oh, we need everyone to go to this movie and make our money back." You're like, no,
These are personal rankings too, so don't matter.
Well, yeah, of course.
All right, number 5.
Well, he's got to do his 6.
Oh yeah, what was your 6?
The Predator.
Right.
Fair enough.
Did we all say that? The Predator at the bottom? No, you put Requiem at the
I'm
bottom.
getting there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
5.
Oh, Requiem. Yeah, sorry.
My number 5 is The Predator. They take such a great concept and they're like, we need giant predators to fight other predators that are smaller predators. You're like, are you fucking high? What kind of drugs were you doing when you did this movie that you didn't just make a Cheech and Chong sequel?
It seems like a a childish, like, ooh, let's have a giant predator.
And the fucked up thing is, like, visually, the effects, like, I don't recall hating them when I saw it. I'm just like, eh. And I just walked out of the movie being like, utterly disappointed. They're like, you take this fucking iconic movie villain and you just fuck it up in a way that no one...
I was okay with the idea, like the general idea of the predator dogs. Like, they'd have domesticated animals.
I mean, you're going to get that, but they may not look just like you, right? Because dogs on Earth don't look a fucking thing like humans, and so why do you got to try to make them look like? Are you crossbreeding?
Like, I can't exactly picture the exact way they look.
Such fucking stupid shit in there. You're like, no, there's biodiversity is what that's called, and you're fucking not understanding like everything. It's got to look like a predator, but it's got a dog, but it's got an elephant penis.
Hell yeah,
it should be like it should just be like a little chihuahua with the fangs.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a good costume for Halloween.
My number 5 is Alien versus Predator.
Okay.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, I can give you that.
It's fine.
What's your number 4?
I put Predators.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be that different. I mean...
There's one big swap for Alec here probably, but it's nothing.
Is your number 4 Prey?
Mine is Predators. I enjoyed that movie. It's off-planet, so it's something a little bit different than what we've seen before. I enjoy it. Topher Grace is good in that. We got Adrian Brody in there. He's pretty good.
I don't remember disliking it. I've only seen it once, like a year ago. But
again, it was one of those that I just don't feel like I'd go back and have the desire to watch as much, and I think I only saw that once or twice.
Was there good kills in it?
We're on my number 4?
Mm-hmm.
Prey.
Yeah.
See? And that's fine. That's a valid ranking.
I didn't say anything was a better film or anything.
This is his personal taste.
I didn't say anything.
If we're talking cinematic or any other things, one could argue Prey is more beautiful than Predator 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or it's...
Oh, yeah. It's definitely more technically competent.
More artistic.
Oh, yeah.
But Predator 2 is schlockier, and I like schlock.
Yeah, if you're going to like look at every aspect of like, you know, technical proficiency and stuff.
Yeah, there's no denying that Prey is definitely more high quality of a film.
It's the better film for
it's
sure.
It's not as far as favorite things go because most of the animal deaths.
Well, and you get the fact that
it's probably not going to be rewatched by me very much.
What about all the human animals that die?
I don't give a fuck about humans. I want to watch... I'm going to be careful how I phrase that.
No, say it.
Nope. I want to watch all the humans die. I am definitely not a robot.
I think I made a comment earlier today
Human.
About, like, I'm just waiting for the asteroid to hit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to do anything.
I don't know if I want the asteroid to hit, because we're going to know, like, a month ahead of time.
Yeah, they won't tell us.
I want something... no, because like regular people can see it. You know.
Yeah, once it gets close enough, you'd be able to see it for sure. For like a while before it hit. Number 3, Nick?
Predator 2. Starring Danny Glover.
And you?
Number 3 was Prey. Prey, I enjoyed it. I'm just telling you, man.
Don't applaud him.
I'm applauding him because he acknowledges that Predator 2
fucking superior
is superior.
You give me fucking Gary Busey in a movie,
every way.
Fuck you, hell
Bill
yeah.
Paxton, motherfucker.
Actually, when I watched it the other night, I remember Gary Busey being in a lot more of it. I was sitting there like, there's not a lot of Busey in this.
Bill Paxton, Gary Busey, like, you got a fucking star.
Yeah.
You got a great fucking movie here.
If you're going to rank them on who has the best cast.
Goddamn Predators.
If you're going to rank it on who has the best cast, then yeah, of course.
No, and Predator 2 did some cool shit the first one didn't do. It's fucking amazing. You take it to the concrete jungle, fuck yeah. Brilliant marketing, brilliant concept for a sequel.
Yeah. While we're here, Predator 2 is my number 2, and Predator being my number 1, which means Predators is my number 3. Just go ahead and bang those out because it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I assume yours is Predators number 1, Prey is number 2.
Yeah, but really close.
Yeah, man, I just can't. The nostalgia for those first 2 movies, they were so well done. That's
I wanted
why
to
they
rank it, like, I was trying to be objective, like, take the nostalgia out, take the cast out.
I just have more fun watching Predator 2 than I did Prey. I mean, part of it just... Predator gives you, like, this outdoor thing, and Prey is like the soft reboot to Predator. It's just an earlier timepiece, right? It's very similar in the fact that you're in the outdoors. There's these things out there. You don't have this. In the city, it fucking provides another dynamic that just isn't there. It feels like the version of RoboCop.
It lacks any lines like, geez, you got a big pussy. I'll give it that.
Why'd you say it twice?
Exactly. I didn't.
No, those first two Predator movies, fucking gold. And then the end scene in Predator 2, when you can see the xenomorph head on there, the whole fucking concept for these other sequels, stuff like that, just kind of that willingness in the early 90s where people were like, hey, we're going to do some crossover stuff, but we may not do anything for a while. But everyone begged for it until like a decade.
Right.
Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, like these types of things that are foreskin shadowed. And, you know, we just got to talk about them.
Well, yep, that's our ranking. Obviously, I didn't like Prey as much as some other people did. I don't like, you know, there's no hate towards it or anything. I just, personally don't want to watch animals die.
If you took the animal deaths out, would it go up on your list?
It might tie with Predators.
Okay.
But they're both, they're just derivative of the first movie because they're sequels on it, you know? So it's like, really, you're trying to recapture that, and I think Predators did it better.
But that's how this franchise has got to be. It's the same thing, but a different setting, different, I don't know.
Which, the thing about...
You can't do anything else with it.
Predators just has a dirtier feel than Prey to me, because Prey is obviously a different era where you're not going to have those pussy jokes and dumb shit like that. You have the lion hunting.
Do you think the Comanche had a lot of pussy jokes?
I mean, we could have dealt with one or two.
Comanche pussy jokes?
Yeah.
In 17,
I mean,
19?
Smoking some weed or something, you know, like...
Peyote, whatever else. I mean, they could have taken this down a lot of very derivative...
Imagine a motherfucker is doing peyote and the Predator shows up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, is that part of that? You know, because they're talking about the spirituality of that, and I felt like that was one thing that could have tripped people out.
How do you say, geez, you got a big pussy in Comanche?
That's a good question.
I don't think there's a Comanche dub.
You know, I'm not saying that they should have had pussy jokes in there or anything for real. I'm just saying like that is an element that's missing from it. That I'm not saying it would have been easy to insert in there by any means or anything.
Not but for this time period. Now the next one they easily could do that again.
But you did have those French settlers that could have been drunken assholes.
Yeah,
making
and
some weird fucked up shit.
And who knows what kind of bullshit they were saying in French in the background that wasn't subtitled.
True.
Wasn't it Predator 2 where he says that their mouth looks like a pussy? Was it Danny Glover or somebody? The Predator's mouth.
Is that Bill Paxton, maybe?
Might have
been. It seems like a Bill Paxton line for sure. No, I'd say this is Prey was a huge course correction for the Predator franchise, because otherwise, after Predator, I was like, just let it die.
Well, yeah, after the
care.
Predator, when you compare it to that, it's definitely better. World's better. So
yeah, the Predator killed him. I'm honestly surprised this was even made, but I guess lower budget streaming film, they can kind of justify it. But
well, I think people are realizing like, you don't always have to go bigger, crazier for the sequel. It's like figure out that story element for like why are you telling the story?
Yeah, throwing money at a movie doesn't make it good.
No, like I don't care what the effects budget is. If you don't have a fucking story around it, I may not care. Now there are times where I enjoy just an effects movie, and that's what I want to see. But in a Predator movie, I do want a little bit of balance, of suspense and shit that I just never felt in the Predator. It was like,
I bet that next one,
the Predator is practically a comedy.
The Predator will be voiced by Chris Pratt,
probably because he's voicing everything. Now, I would say for the next Predator film, I would love to see it from the Predator's perspective of him stalking and hunting and killing the people. I think that would be fascinating.
I watched the Angry Joe review.
We haven't seen that yet.
And they're like, don't put Chris Pratt in any of the sequels. Yeah. They did actually say that.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Just don't put Chris Pratt in any of the
Well, Chris
sequels.
Pratt and then, like, him and Chris Hemsworth, they're both doing a bunch of, like, direct to Netflix and, like, direct to streaming videos, right, guys?
And they're in a bunch of legacy sequels, too.
Yeah, like, you don't have to do that,
like
right?
Event films.
You do know that that's optional. You've got enough money that you don't need to do that.
Well, that was
episode 122 and an 8.
And Prey.
Prey.
You better pray that the next movie is also decent or some shit. You know, I just had to make
some kind of cliche.
The next Predator
bullshit,
movie?
yada yada yada.
Or the next movie we're reviewing.
No, the next Predator movie for sure.
Hey, make sure you join us on social media at Frog Bros Podcast. And then
YouTube.com/
yeah.
The Frog Bros. If you're not watching us on there already, if you are, watch me squeeze my nipple real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah, and then
Patreon.
Sign up for the Patreon. We've been adding more content on there, just behind the scenes photos and stuff.
Facebook
we'll have
group,
more.
Instagram,
TikTok.
Yeah, Alex slaying it over on
At
TikTok.
Frog Bros Podcast.
Twitter.
Wherever you socialize the medias.
We're on
media socialites. That's what we is today.
We're on Pinterest.
Anyway, fuck off.
Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. The Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.